is the Leaders Anchor Show. Let yourself be inspired by real-world leaders and their experience. Sharing knowledge is what it's all about. Learning from experience. See what real-world leaders have to say.
Welcome once again to the Leaders Anchor Show, where we share with you inspiring, motivational stories that will change your life from A and take you to where you really want to be. The best place of optimization where everything and anything is possible. My next guest, ladies and gentlemen, I'm privileged to have one of the young, outstanding individuals on this planet, Sabirul Islam. Welcome, Sabirul.
Thank you, Paa. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure having you, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you here. Look at you. Well, I'm looking at the cycle of success. I'm looking at this giant thing sitting here. I'm looking at this book, and the first question I want to ask you, the very first one: how old are you?
I'm actually 23 years old. Just recently turned 23 a few months back, and it's been quite a ride.
23.
Yeah.
So when did all this start?
Well, I got into business at 14. I was in school and just didn't want to go down the typical route in society, because you get these young kids, you know, thinking, yeah, I get my degree and then I go become an engineer, a doctor, whatever. But I say to myself, why wait till I got this piece of paper telling me I'm excellent in life, that I'm outstanding? Why not believe that you're outstanding from day one? And that's the sort of courage we need, to have that inner belief that we are worth more than what society perceives us to be. And that is so important. So I set up my first company, a web design business, at the age of 14, and that's what led me on a journey to go into exploring more about my own capabilities, because understanding the purpose of existence is something so important. Why am I here? What is my purpose? The meaning of my presence here in this world? What can I do to impact society? Nobody thinks like this. Not many people think like that, and it's up to us to be able to discover more about our skills. So I tried stock trading, enjoyed it, wasn't for me. Then I got into writing books. I wrote my first book at the age of 17 called The World at Your Feet. And this book is to inspire young people that no matter the age, race, religion or culture, anybody has the ability to be extraordinary. And this is a self-published book. And this got later professionally published by Marshall Cavendish, based in Singapore. But this book led to multiple opportunities worldwide to, for example, how I got myself into the African market in terms of opportunity, inspiring the young generation. I paid around £600 to be on a magazine that went out to every single university in the UK. And this was at the age of 17, and then suddenly the former First Lady of Nigeria somehow out of the blue gets hold of this magazine. And she gives me a phone call saying, she says her name, she introduces herself, it's the former First Lady, and she invited me to go over to Nigeria. And this was just before I turned 18, and I was gobsmacked, thinking, I've just been invited to go to Africa. Mind you, at that time, Nigeria, as a young person, I'd never even heard of, because I wasn't exposed to the world outside of the UK, because my parents have never traveled. So to have accepted the invitation, flown over to Nigeria, landed in Lagos airport, collecting my luggage, first step I take outside the airport, I'm looking up. The first thing I saw when I stepped out of the airport was a massive billboard with my face on it.
Wow. How do you feel?
Oh my God.
Tell me about that.
To understand that somebody values you that much in life, it taught me the meaning of purpose. That when you leave this world, what will you be remembered for? And that's when I understood that whenever you inspire someone, whenever you change a person's mindset, mentality, for them to come back, and this is what happened. I've been spoken in front of 3,500 people. A young 18, 19-year-old guy flew over to London. 6 months later, comes knocking on my door just to shake my hand and say, Sabirul, you've changed my life.
Unbelievable.
And that completely opened my eyes to thinking, why am I limiting myself in life to just the UK? Why not go the rest of the world? Because the world is your oyster. You are born into this world not just to do one thing. You're born with the millions of opportunities in this world. So now let's embrace as many of those opportunities as possible, because there you understand value. You understand the meaning of why you're here. And that is so important. And having that's one opportunity in Nigeria completely changed my life.
Sabirul, I like it when you say that when you tried stock and you said to me just now that it wasn't for you.
No, it wasn't for me.
You tried that, it wasn't for you. Started your business at 14 years of age.
I closed it at 16 because that question hit me. When you leave this world, what will you be remembered for?
Exactly.
And I don't want to be remembered as Sabirul Islam, the web designer. That's not me. In fact, I don't even know how to design a website. I got to understand what the meaning of power of people is. That you don't necessarily have to be a genius in life to be able to be successful. It's about knowing the right people who you can bring into your life and say, with their support, with their help, you can go on a journey with them. So I brought them together, 5-6 friends who were tech geniuses, leveraged off their skills to be able to run a successful business, got clients all over the UK, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Mind you, nobody taught me any of this. Everything was through trial and error. And I think people learn and understand more about themselves through taking risk and through understanding trial and error. That you want to do something in life, who's stopping you? Nobody. It's only your mindset telling you that you cannot do something and you actually agreeing to it. Oh, I put up my hand and say I cannot do something. No, you believe in yourself. And one thing I really want to emphasize on is parenting. When a parent tells a young person that for you to become successful in life, that you must have a piece of paper telling you that without this university degree you are deemed unsuccessful. I don't think so. You do not need a piece of paper telling you you are excellent in something. Having that belief, that confidence to stand up on your own 2 feet with the freedom to explore the world, to open your eyes and say, actually, maybe that wherever you're from in this world, your country, your community, your family is not supporting you, but there is someone halfway across the world who will absolutely cherish and admire the meaning and presence of your existence in this world. And those are the people you need to connect with. Because we look at technology, we've got young people all around the world on their phones, on the internet. Connect with people who connect with your values in life, your morals, your ethics. And those are the people who support you through thick and thin to make you successful.
Unbelievable. You know, one of the reasons why we set up the Africa Leadership Agenda is to offer another perspective to how leadership is being practiced on the continent, and also to inspire young people. You know, I pretty much like what you said, that a lot of people are depending on a paper to determine their destiny in this space. And you have actually looked beyond a piece of paper, and you're doing amazing stuff with your Inspire 1 Million project. Tell me, how many countries have you been to this far?
Well, the Inspire 1 Million, funny enough, how I came about that was because of the Nigerian opportunity. Because the story behind it, when that guy flew over to London from Nigeria after 6 months, knocking on my door, shaking my hand, saying, "You've changed my life," for a year and a half, it kept hitting me in my head. What can I do to impact people worldwide, to make a difference? That when I leave this world, I'll be remembered for having made a difference. Because there's a saying that money isn't all too difficult to make in this world. The real challenge is to be able to make a difference. Understanding what legacy means. You know? And so I was working with a lot of people worldwide, getting connected, leveraging off networks like Junior Chamber International, JCI, absolutely phenomenal network. And to embrace active citizenship in all around the world. And when I won the JCI 10 Outstanding Young Person of the World Award in Japan, in Osaka, in 2010, there's about 4,000 people under the roof from 120 countries, and I leveraged
you were
off.
there in 2010?
Yes, I was the TOEIC honoree. So to be the TOEIC honoree and then to speak out and say, I want to go around the world, inspire at least 1 million people, and I just shouted out the words in front of the audience, "Can you help me?" And these are words which people fear. You know, and the first country that jumped on board was in fact the Maldives, in South Asia. And this was organized by the JCI president in the Maldives, and she put together a 7-day campaign. I pitched the idea to her, saying that I want to, in those 7 days, speak at as many events as possible in the Maldives. We did 17 events in 7 days. Then came on board JCI Botswana to host a huge campaign in Botswana, where I did 43 events in 12 days in 10 cities.
Wow.
So did a 360-degree road trip across the entire country, hitting national papers, national television, reaching out to as many people in Botswana as possible. And then it kind of led on from one opportunity to another, where I've now traveled to 26 countries, 63 international visits in the past 2.5 years. I've reached out to just over 900,000 people, and 1 million will be reached in February 2014.
Wow. Finally, tell me about this amazing game board.
This I created. I produced this at the age of 18 because there's a saying in my book, one of the books written there, about the cycle of success. Inspiration is one thing, and I inspire through the books and through my speaking and through various other mediums that I do. But the game is to educate. Educate young people on entrepreneurship. You run your own business, teaching them about financial literacy. Because in modern day society, when you give a young person money, what do they go and do? Go buy themselves sweets, crisp drinks and spend. They never understand the meaning of saving. They never understand the meaning of budgeting and cash flow. So this, I created a game, a concept that teaches them fundamental aspects of business and enterprise, and more importantly financial literacy. And has sold to over 650 schools in the UK and now in 14 countries around the world, and has produced multiple different versions of this game for Mexico, for Zambia, for South Africa, for Bangladesh, for all sorts of countries. 14 different countries have this different versions made, and it's been an absolutely incredible ride. And this I produced at the age of 18 with the help of 6, 11 to 15-year-olds.
At the age of 18, he produced an amazing board game with the help of 6 to 11
to 15-year-olds.
6 to 11, 15-year-olds. Anything is possible. Anything and everything, my friends, from wherever you're watching us from, is possible if you do not limit yourself to the capabilities and the amazing opportunities that is ahead of you. Thank you so very much,
It's made my pleasure.
Sabiru Islam, for coming on the Leaders Anchor Show, and I wish you all the best in everything that you do. Thank you very much.